Hey, what's up, guys? Keyzon McNeil. Thank you for checking out today's episode. Today, we are going to talk about interview preparation. But first, this video today is being sponsored by ZoeAndLowe.com. I'll spell it for you. ZoeAndLowe.com. This is an online fashion boutique that has all types of professional wear for women preparing for interviews, women who already have jobs, so you can be Zoom ready. So cruise on over to ZoeAndLowe.com. Check it out and tell them that Keyzon sent you when you order. Now, today's video, we're going to talk about interview preparation. We're going to assume that you've already passed that phone screen with the recruiter. The recruiter has actually forwarded your resume on to the hiring manager, and the hiring manager says, yes, I want to interview this candidate. So think about it like this. A lot of times candidates start to get nervous here because they're like, whoa, I got to prepare for this interview. I want you to relax because this is what you have working for you already. If they're wanting to interview you, you're probably one of 3 candidates, or maybe 4, that they've already down selected to speak with. Now, this is probably, we'll say this is round 2 if you already talked to a recruiter, but let's say this is round 2. So it's usually one more round after this round, but it's usually with the hiring manager. So we want to be prepared. How do we do that so we can put our best foot forward? The first thing I want you to do is research the company. I want you to go to the website of that company, see if you can look at some current events the company has going on, look at the job opening you're going to be interviewing for, and make sure that you understand how your resume aligns with what they have in the job description and why they may want to even speak to you, right? So make sure you do that. Number 2, I want you to just relax. Just relax. This is not a big deal. It's an interview. Now, I say that saying that I know some people may be laid off right now, or you may be gainfully employed, but you put a lot of pressure on yourself. And I'm going to tell you, I've been doing this, 23 years now. There is no need to put any pressure on yourself. Just think about it like this. I want you to treat it like a meeting, just like a meeting. You're trying to decide if you like them just as much as they're trying to decide if they like you. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, at this stage of the game, they're not really questioning if you can do the job or not. They just want to see if you are a cultural fit or you fit the team dynamics, of how they move. It could be a team that's a very quiet, loner type team, or it could be a team that's an environment where everyone's kind of collaborating. So they want to kind of see how you sound when you're speaking with them and what you might say. So they're really looking for things that you probably don't even think they're looking for. So it's best to just be yourself and relax. Now, what I want you to do, because most of these interviews nowadays with this new normal, it's over a Zoom or a Teams, whatever type of video interview interface that you're going to be dealing with. So make sure you are dressed professional up top. I don't care what type of role it's for. Please make sure you, if you're a male, put a suit jacket on with a dress shirt. If you're a female, have a nice top on. Not too colorful, but still, I don't want you to do anything really dull. Just make it something that really pops and looks good on camera. So hair, nails, please have all that stuff done, and always smile on the camera. Don't be so serious, because you're going to set the tone of the energy of the hiring manager or managers that are on that video chat. I'm going to tell you, these little things will go a long way when you interview, because they're just really buying you. Again, they wouldn't be talking to you if you could not do the job. So you've already crossed one, you've already crossed one hurdle already getting the interview. So just relax, be yourself. But preparation wise, go to the company's website. I cannot stress that enough. Do some due diligence on the company. Don't just wing it. Do some due diligence so you can have some questions to ask. Now, some great questions to ask on these interviews are, okay, Mr. Manager, you've been with the company, whatever they say. For this example, we'll say 5 years. You've been with the company 5 years. In these past 5 years, give me 2 takeaways. Yes, say takeaways. I like how that sounds. Trust me. Say takeaways. Mr. Manager, give me 2 takeaways over the past 5 years that you've been at this company that make you say, I'm so glad I decided to stay at this company. That's a great question to ask. You know why? Because it provokes thought. The manager, I guarantee you, they haven't been asked that question. And they're like, wow, I got to think about that. Remember that. I want you to come back and comment and say, you know what? You were right. Say it the exact same way I just said it to you. So you've been here 5 years. Give me 2 takeaways that make you say, I'm so glad I stayed at this company. And just let them talk. See, now you shifted things. Now the managers get to kind of talk about themselves. So when this interview is over and they start to look at who they want to hire or bring in for the next round, that manager's automatically thinking about you. You know why? Because you put something in his or her brain that says, wow, they're going to remember what they said to you. So if it's a kind of a close between a 1A and a 1B, or a 1A and a A1, whatever all that stuff is, they're going to probably shift things to you. I'm telling you, I know you probably don't think this sounds right, but I've done this over 2,000 times. I've interviewed candidates, and then obviously interviewing for different contracts and jobs myself, So I'm telling you, it works. Make sure you do that. If you're interviewing at home and you're on a video chat, I want you, if you don't have your resume printed out there with you, what I like to do, a lot of us have extended screens. You see, got an extended screen in here, got a couple screens actually, but you see this one back here. So I have my laptop up, but I will have my resume on my extended screen, right? So my laptop's up, I'm on the video chat, but I got my resume on my extended screen just so I can have it as a point of reference. I know a lot of you kind of already feel that, I know how my resume looks up and down and all this stuff. Trust me, have it up. It's going to keep you poised. You can just go reference it right there. So if you have the ability and you have an extended screen, use that extended screen. Trust me, it goes a long way. It's going to keep you flowing smooth and just it's going to give you a lot of confidence. When you're interviewing, and that's going to cross over to the hiring manager when they're going back and forth with you. Some other good takeaways I want you to think about are when you're on camera, we're going to assume that it's just one person. We're going to assume this is not a panel. But when you're just going one-on-one with the hiring manager, make sure you're kind of sitting up, make sure you're engaged. And also, please have a notepad. Now, the manager may not be able to see you writing. Here's a trick, though. So take your laptop, and just have it pointed down a little bit so they can see the tip of your pen and take some notes. And even if you're not taking notes, make it appear that you're writing some things down. It shows that you're very engaged and interested. And right away, the manager's like, wow, they're taking some notes. They're writing some things down, and I'm telling you guys, you may think it sounds corny. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm telling you, it works because these interviews can be very one-sided and dull. You gotta make the manager remember you. That's what this is all about. And when they're asking you questions, like especially these behavioral-based questions, some people call it the STAR method, and that's when they say, give us an example when. How would you handle this? What did you do when this happened? Those are called behavioral questions. That's a behavioral-based interview. And when you answer those questions, always try to say, you know what, I'm going to give you a most recent example. Try not to go back 10, 15 years. Don't do all that. Try to say, I'm going to give you a most recent example within the last 6 months. And then come up with a scenario that answers the question they're asking. Don't go back 10 years. Well, 10 years ago, no. Let's stay current. Stay current. I'm telling you, that's going to go a long way. See, one thing, and there are tons of information here on YouTube about preparing for an interview. But one thing you'll see with a lot of these other videos, they say the same thing. And they're just very cookie cutter. I'm giving it to you straight up from someone who's hired anywhere from admins to C-level or C-suite, is what we call it. And I'm telling you what works. Even myself, when I've interviewed for jobs years ago or even consulting gigs right now, if I interview for 5, I'll probably get 4 offers. And if I don't get an offer, it's not because of experience. Sometimes it's just not a fit. There are other dynamics that are none of your business as to why you may not be a fit. I'll give you an example. A manager could feel threatened, or they could feel that you're just maybe a little more advanced than they want for the team, right? Or in some cases, they could really feel like you just don't fit the dynamic of the flow. Maybe you're too energetic and they have a real chill environment. Or maybe you're not upbeat enough. So that's why I always tell you, just be your authentic self. Because is one of two things could happen. You can get an offer or not. So you may as well, forgive me, do it your way. Just by being yourself. Relax. Don't put too much emphasis on trying to be perfect. But some of those questions I just gave you answers to, use them. The main thing is that takeaway when they ask you, do you have any questions for me? Yes, actually, I do this. I know I do this all the time. Actually, I just have one question. In the past 5 years you've been with the company, give me 2 takeaways that make you say, I'm so glad I stayed with this company. Right? Another question that you can ask if it hasn't been answered already for you is, this position is open, is it due to attrition? Is it due to growth in the company? Let me know why this position is open right now. A manager will probably let you know why it's open already. So that's why I kind of say, if they don't address why the position is open, okay? Another good question to ask would be, in this role right here, what are maybe 3 components that are going to make this person successful in this role? Give me 3 solid takeaways or components that are going to make this person, be successful in this role. See, when you ask questions that way, it's showing you're putting the onus on the manager to think and say, wow. And so when they give you this answer, well, this person needs to be very punctual, or this person needs to really have the ability to really work independently. Various things they may say, right? When you're answering questions, you can answer questions to show that you're very punctual, for example, or to show that, you have good follow through and can work independently. You're giving these examples, right? So I want you to really think about that and remember that. It's not about you trying to create some narrative of who you aren't. Be who you are. Relax. Don't be so nervous. Don't take it so seriously. And I promise you, it's going to lead to more offers because you're going to have fun while you're doing it. Make it a meeting, and I'll see you guys at the top.